We give you the facts, it's not what you think. Popeye Newsling, Young King, 1 yard, bless.
Good morning, Popeye. Grandma watch Popeyes every morning and every night.
What am I think? What am I think? You're listening to Popeye News Links. This is the Admiral Tibet who I represent, and remember, the time is so serious, cantankerous and dangerous. This is Popeye News Links.
People of Center, St. Mary and surrounding.
Yeah, watch Popeyes, mama.
Here is
Where I watch?
Popeye.
are you on entertainment? If you are,
Greetings viewers and subscribers. Queen Pamela, you celebrated your sweet 16th birthday yesterday. A happy belated birthday to you. Let's hope that you did have a wonderful birthday and may you live to see lots more. In today's journey, we are going to be traveling from Savannah-la-Mar to the Strawberry Primary School in the parish of Westmoreland. We are going to be passing areas like Dunbar's River, Chantilly, Stratbogie, Bath and other areas. Sit back, relax and enjoy this journey with me. In the news today, last week Monday morning, November 24, a lady, she securely locked up her home at 2 West in the Greater Portmore area of St. Catherine and left to work. About 12:30 in the afternoon, hoodlums went there. The hoodlums, they climbed onto the roof and they cut the mesh to the kitchen window which was left ajar. The hoodlums, they entered the house and them thief 1 Samsung cellular phone and 3 bottles of wine. The police, they were called in and they commenced investigations. We are told that video footage was viewed and one of the young hoodlums was readily identified. His name is Nathaniel Wallace and he's a student at the Greater Portmore High School, but he's living at Kennedy Lane in the Garden Pen area of Spanish Town in the parish of St. Catherine. Yesterday, Tuesday, December 2, Nathaniel's mother, on learning about the incident, she brought her son into the police and handed him over. He was questioned in front of his mother and a lawyer, and Nathaniel, he gave the police a caution statement admitting to his participation in the crime. He was charged for housebreaking and larceny and he'll be facing the courts shortly. We are told that efforts are being made to lock up the others. In this report, on Monday night, December 1, about 8:30, the operator of the Refa weed store on the BPH Minimal at Brownstown in the parish of St. Ann securely locked it up and went away. Yesterday morning, Tuesday, December 2, at minutes to 8 o'clock, it was realized that the shop was broken into. Hoodlums, they used ladders to gain entry to the back of the building from an adjoining property. They then used implements to cut both sides of the shutter at the front door. They then slightly opened the shutter and removed the glass from the door. Once inside, the hoodlums, they cut the wires for the CCTV system and damaged 3 of the cameras. The hoodlums, them thief 6 pounds of high-grade weed, 11 boxes of Black and Mild cigars, and a quantity of Craven's cigarettes. The hoodlums, they also damaged 1 pot of gold and 2 roulette gaming boxes, and them thief all the money out of them. They then made good their escape. Just like that. Over in St. James, the police, they are taking a 33-year-old airport worker into police custody in relation to that illegal gun and ammunitions on your screen. He is known as Romy or Wanted and he works at the Sangster International Airport as a ramp agent. Reports are that on Monday afternoon, a team of police officers acting on intelligence, they carried out a raid at Romy's home at Piggott Street in the Mount Salem area of St. James. Romy, he was not at home at the time. A blue barrel in his room was searched and in the barrel was a grey Aeropostale polo shirt. The shirt was unwrapped and bingo. It was found to contain that EP Army rifle with the serial number erased. It was affixed with that magazine containing those 22 5.56 cartridges. Romy, who was at work at the airport, he was later apprehended and he was taken into police custody. But officers, here is my question to you. You got the intelligence about Romy and the gun. Is it that you couldn't have picked him up from work, take him to his home and search the house in front of him? Intelligencers, big up on yourself, and officers for taking this illegal gun off the streets. Job well done. Over and over, the police, they have arrested and charged Orlando Cunningham, but he's popularly known as OB. OB is 30 years old and he's living at Dias District in the parish of Hanover. OB, he has been charged for the offences of assault at common law and possession of a prohibited weapon. The allegation is that on Saturday afternoon, November 29, about 5 o'clock, a vendor in her mid-40s, she was at a shop at Orange Cove in the parish of Hanover. She was sitting down and waiting for her phone to be charged when OB, he drove up and stopped where she was. OB, he came out of the car and the female, she asked OB about some money that he owed her. As a result, an argument developed between the two of them. It is alleged that OB, he lifted his shirt and showed the female a gun. He then began behaving boisterously and threatened to shoot the female. The female, she ran away and made a report to the police. OB, on learning that the report was made against him, he turned himself into the police the same day. He was charged, so he'll be facing the courts shortly. In this report, we are learning that last night, Tuesday, December 2, almost 9:30, a female in her mid-70s and a police constable, they were walking along the roadway along Alamanda Drive in the Portmore Pines area of Portmore in the parish of St. Catherine. While they were walking along the roadway, it is reported that they were approached by two hoodlums. One of them pulled a gun and pointed it at the elderly lady and the police officer, demanding their property. The policeman, he managed to pull his gun and squeezed off a few rounds. The hoodlums, they managed to run away, making good their escape. It is not known if any of them were hit. It is just a pity. Over in Westmoreland, the police, they've arrested and charged two brothers for wounding with intent, shooting with intent, and using a firearm to commit a felony. The brothers are Rajief Goodall. He is a 32-year-old sprayman, and Jason Goodall. He is 35 years old. They are both living at Stratbogie in the parish of Westmoreland. Now, this is what we are learning. Last week, Sunday morning, November 23, about 7:30, a 37-year-old guy named Cashmar Tomlinson, but he's popularly known as Rickie. He's also living at Stratbogie. Rickie, he was riding his bicycle along the Stratbogie main road when it is alleged that on reaching a section of the road, he was approached by Rajief. An argument developed and it is alleged that Rickie, who was armed with a fish gun, he squeezed off, shooting Rajief to the right side of his chest. It is alleged that Rajief, he ran away and later returned with a rifle and he fired shots at Rickie. Rickie, he rode off and on reaching a section of the roadway, he was confronted by Rajief's brother Jason, who was also armed with a gun. Jason, he opened gunfire at Rickie, shooting him to both legs. Rickie, he managed to run into bushes and hid. He was later rushed to the Sabanallamar Hospital where he was treated and subsequently released. Last week, Tuesday, November 25, Jason Goodall, he surrendered to the police in the company of his lawyer and he was charged. On Monday, December 1, the police, they conducted a raid and the other brother, Rajief Goodall, he was held by the police. He was subsequently charged also. We are also told that if Rickie has not yet been charged, he too will be charged for shooting Rajief with the fish gun. The mayhem. In this report, a guy, His name is Jodane Shadone James, but he was popularly known as J-Bad. J-Bad was 21 years old and he was living at Lammy Lane in the South Spring area of St. James. J-Bad, he was a gangster and he was a member of the Lammy Lane based G6 gang. I have carried a few reports about J-Bad on this channel before. Follow me now. On Wednesday evening, April 24, last year, almost 6:30, J-Bad, he was at Repasture in the same South Spring area. He was leaning on a white 2011 Nissan Tiida motor car when he was approached by at least 7 hoodlums from another gang. They were armed with rifles and handguns. The hoodlums, they opened gunfire at J-Bad, who ran off. The hoodlums chased him, still firing shots at him. J-Bad, he managed to elude the hoodlums, but he received gunshot wounds to his upper body. The hoodlums, they also fired several shots in the area, damaging motor cars that were parked along the roadway. The police, they were called and they transported J-Bad to hospital where he was treated and admitted in a serious condition. The police, they had recovered 52 M16 and 30 9mm spent shells on that scene. 2 days later, the same set of hoodlums, they shot and killed another of J-Bad's crony. There he is on your screen. His name is Jerome Goodwin, but he was popularly known as Pampi or Branxx Wrongturn. He was 34 years old and he was living at Gopi's Lane in the same South Spring area of St. James. Late Friday afternoon, April 26, last year, about minutes to 6 o'clock, Branxx Wrongturn, he was riding a bike on his way back from work. On reaching in the vicinity of the Texaco gas station at Iron Shore, a white Toyota Axia motor car drove up. Hoodlums in the car, they were armed with M16 rifles and pistols. They opened gunfire at Branxx Wrongturn, killing him on the spot. So J-Bad, he survived the attack and he was subsequently released from hospital. He went to a place named Mall Road in the Montpelier area of St. James to cool out. On Tuesday afternoon, December 17, last year, residents, they rushed with J-Bad to the Cornwall Regional Hospital. He was suffering from a gunshot wound to his left thigh. The police, they were called and when they interviewed J-Bad, he told the police that he was at Seven River in the Cambridge area with a friend when he heard gunshots being fired. He told the police that he later discovered that he was shot, but he did not know who it was that shot him. I had reported at the time that a lie J-Bad tell because our information was that he was at a house at Mall Road in Montpelier with a 14-year-old boy. He asked the boy to take up a Glock 9mm pistol off the top of a whatnot that was inside the house and give it to him. The boy did as he was told and J-Bad, he started to show the boy how to operate the gun. Bam! A shot went off, hitting him in his left thigh. The police, they found the 14-year-old boy and he admitted to the police exactly what took place. The house where the incident took place, it was searched by the police and while they didn't find the gun, they found an M16 magazine that could hold 100 rounds. We are told that there was not sufficient evidence to charge J-Bad, so he was treated and eventually released from hospital. He later returned to Salt Spring where he continued with his hoodlum lifestyle. J-Bad, he's also said to be related to a hoodlum known as Sizzla who is living in the same South Spring area and who the police are searching for in relation to a recent double murder in the area. Early Monday morning, December 1 at minutes to 6 o'clock, a team of police officers from the Area 1 Fugitive Apprehension Team, they went to Montegoville in the South Spring area in search of Sizzla who is wanted for murder. The police, they are claiming that they entered the house and J-Bad, he pulled a gun and pointed it at them. They are saying that they took evasive action and opened gunfire and two-toes it was all over. J-Bad, he fell clutching a black and silver Jimenez 9mm pistol with the serial number intact. It was affixed with a magazine containing 4 9mm rounds. J-Bad, he died on the spot. Indicom are carrying out investigations. The mayhem. So let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Have you hit on the love button as yet? If you have not yet done so, remember to hit on it. Also, if you are over here watching our videos and you have not yet subscribed, hit on the subscribe button. As also, hit on the notification bell. Then click all so that whenever we drop a new video, you will be one of the first to be notified. In the final report for today, that man on your screen, his name is Simon Blanchard. He was 61 years old. Simon, he was born at Lionel Town in the parish of Clarendon. Years later, he migrated overseas where most of his family members are living. Simon, he worked as an engineer with a British engineering company. He retired about 10 years ago and he returned to Jamaica where he lived at Retreat Heights in the parish of Trelawny. Early Thursday morning, June 26, earlier this year, Simon, he was at his home at Retreat Heights when he heard strange sounds coming from across his neighbor's house. Because of Simon's love for his neighbors and his community, he went outside to investigate. As it turned out, hoodlums were trying to break into Simon's neighbor's house. The hoodlums, they saw Simon and they attacked him. The hoodlums, they used knives to inflict some serious stab wounds to Simon all over his body. The hoodlums, they then made good their escape. When neighbors went and made checks, Simon, he was seen lying on his back along the sidewalk. He was dressed in a black shirt, a black pants and a pair of slippers. He died on the spot. The police, they were called in and they commenced investigations. The crime scene was processed and all the while we see crime scene investigators processing crime scenes. Sometimes we ask ourselves, what them I do? Now, before I tell you how the crime scene processing helped to crack this case, let me remind you about a report I carried. A guy named Gary Ferguson, he also used the name Peter Buchanan. He's originally from Mark Lane in downtown Kingston, but he's living in the Great Pond area of Ocherayos in the parish of St. Ann. On Monday afternoon, September 15, at minutes after 12 midday, Gary, he drove a silver Subaru motorcar to a gas station in the Discovery Bay area of St. Ann. Whilst he was at the gas station, he was involved in a dispute with the security guard on duty. Gary, he pulled a gun and pointed it at the security guard. He then jumped into his car and drove away. At minutes to 1 o'clock that said afternoon, an off-duty police officer, he was in the Stuart Castle area of Trelawny when he received intelligence about what took place at Discovery Bay. A few moments later, the said car was seen driving into a gas station in the area. The off-duty policeman, he accosted and searched Gary and the car, and bingo. One illegal black and chrome Llama Max .45 pistol with the serial number intact, affixed with a magazine containing 5.45 cartridges, was found on the front passenger seat under a towel. Gary, also known as Peter Buchanan, he was arrested and charged for that illegal gun and ammunitions. He was also charged for pointing the gun at the security guard. He was placed before the courts and he was remanded in police custody. Now, remember I told you about the police processing the crime scene where Simon Blanchard was killed in Trelawny in June? Well, guess what? Gary's fingerprint was found on that scene. Are you following me? We are told that Based on that revelation, the police, they investigated and they found additional evidence to indicate that Gary Ferguson, also known as Peter Buchanan, was one of the hoodlums who were attempting to break into the house and eventually killed Simon. As a result, Gary, he was charged for the offense of murder, so he'll be facing the courts shortly. The mayhem continues. Blessed love, everybody.
From the hills to the town, we bring the link. Straight facts, no mix up, no gimmick, no wing. You tune in now, get the real insight. Cause Papa News Link lights in up.
Papa News Link, yeah, we tell it how it is. Jamaican vice, truth in the biz. Click it, share it, every little click count news with the vibes. And that we announce.
Up, no gimmick, no way. You tune in now, get the real insight. Cause Papa News Link lighting up the ring.
Papa News Link, yeah, we tell it how it is. Jamaican voice, truth in the biz. Click it, share it, every little click on news with the vibes. And that we are on. Papa News Link, yeah, we tell it how it is. Jamaican voice, truth in the biz. Click it, share it, every little click on news with the vibes. And that we are on.
It's like me being she a command out them and it Johnny you damn catch a fire me fi rate it. Inna the race that flop and no fades. Why we bleak when we coming on me cross silence. From the hills to the town we bring the link. Straight facts, no mix up, no gimmick, no wing. You tune in now,